I want you to close your eyes and imagine a high value guy. A guy who women treat with respect. A guy who women treat like a king. Now I'm sure you would be imagining an extremely tall, good looking, rich guy, maybe on a horse playing polo. And that's the image that you've created of a high value person. And that is where you're wrong. But I don't blame you because the Matrix has fed that to you. That is what you see in the movies. That is what you read in the books. And that is all completely wrong. Most of you think that to be treated like a king, you have this unattainable image in your mind that you need to be this kind of a guy. You need to have a lot of money in your accounts. You need to be extremely good looking. You need to be extremely tall. You need to be extremely fit. But that is not the reality. The reality is completely different. Now today I want to shatter that image of a high value guy that you've created in your mind, and I want to tell you what actually works. What actually works to be treated like a king. Now to all those people who think that I'm not good looking enough, or women don't respect me because of my complexion, because of my height, because you may be balding, maybe you're overweight, let me tell you something, and I want you to take it very close to the heart. It really doesn't matter how you look, but what matters is how you present yourself. Now to be treated like a king, you need to present yourself like a king. Now you might be thinking, oh, I know that, but how do I do that? And that is what I'm going to break down in this video in a step-by-step method that you can easily execute and be treated like a king in the truest sense. Now, I guarantee you that you won't find this kind of an informative video on YouTube, let alone a paid program. So I want you to grab your pen, grab your notepad and take notes, because this video is going to be live for limited time only. Now let's talk about what makes a woman respect you and what makes her treat you like a king in her eyes. Over the years, I've successfully dated multiple types of women from different cultures, and I've trained thousands of men on how to work on their dating lives and how to get the relationship that they actually desire. And what I figured out is there are 5 departments that you actually need to work on if you want to be respected by women. The first one being emotional intelligence, the second one being a well-cultured individual, the third one is your lifestyle choices, the fourth is your mental stability, and the fifth is your financial stability. Now let's talk about the most important one, which is emotional intelligence. Now why do I say emotional intelligence is one of the most important factors? Because emotional intelligence is the factor that decides whether you're going to have a successful life, whether you're going to have a successful relationship. And in my experience, it is one of the most important factors for a man to develop a deeper relationship with any woman. There was a study done by Dr. Travis Bradbury, and that concluded that 90% of the higher performing individuals have a higher emotional quotient. Now EQ is also responsible for 58% of your job performance and your financial stability. Last but not the least, a person with a high EQ has 78% more chances to get into a more fulfilling and a more deeper relationship that is actually going to last than a person with low EQ. Now you might be thinking, what is emotional quotient? In layman terms, it's going to be self-awareness, which basically implies why are you feeling the way you're feeling? What kind of emotions are you feeling? Having an awareness what your emotional triggers are. And self-management, how do you manage and control your emotions? How do you manage and control your responses? Whether it's an approach that you're doing, whether it's a girl creating a high-stress scenario in your life, how do you manage those situations? Emotional intelligence also includes your motivation. How do you harness your emotions? Are you a guy who's committed with following through with what you said? Or are you a guy who's gonna give up in the first go? Now it also includes empathy, which basically means recognizing other people's emotions, understanding where they're coming from, so that you can utilize that understanding and respond to them in the correct manner. Now emotional intelligence also includes social skills. How do you build relationships? How do you form deeper relationships? How do you act in terms of conflicts? How do you deal with people from different cultures? And all of this concludes your emotional intelligence, and this is something that can be actually worked upon. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know how working on a few of these things can land you dates left, right, and center. And also you need to understand self-awareness, self-management, and discipline and motivation. All of this ties down to how well do you take care of yourself? How well do you take care of your body? How well do you take care of your mind? Because that is really crucial if you want to actually grow your emotional intelligence. Now, I always get told that, Arunav, you're a good-looking guy, and that is one of the major reasons that you're getting women. But you need to understand that this is not something I was born with. This is something I worked upon over the years. And I know you might not believe me. That's why I'll tell the editing team to add a picture over here so that you can see how I used to be. And these things are actually something that can actually be worked upon, developed over the period of time. So this is not something that you're born with. Now, your motivation, your attitude, and your outlook towards life is how women will perceive you. Now imagine a guy who has lost all his drive, who has lost his motivation, who's not taking any action when it comes to his work or maybe when it comes to his dating life. He's lost all initiative and he's like, I just want things to come to me. Now women are not attracted to that kind of a mindset. Women are attracted to a mindset of a go-getter, of a person who believes that he can do it, who believes he can do stuff, even if you're not at a very good level right now, but you believe that tomorrow is going to be better. Now you need to understand, having a high emotional quotient also means that you're going to have less depressive episodes, less mood swings, and that is what women want. Women want someone who's centered, who's stable, and who's not swinging here and there. They want a guy who's very decisive about what he actually wants in life. Now, most of the women, they're searching for a guy who's decisive about what he wants in life when they're looking for a long-term relationship. Now, by better understanding your own emotions, controlling and managing your own emotions, and understanding and having empathy towards others, you'll be able to communicate your feelings in a more constructive way. And with that kind of a communication skill, it's very easy for you to bond with women. It's very easy for you to land into deeper relationships and form relationships that last a long time. Now, there are 2 steps, activities that you can do to build on that emotional intelligence. And step 1 is fairly simple. It might sound simple, but it's actually very tough to do, which is basically observing your feelings. Now, I see this with a lot of people. Whenever you're doing an approach, try to notice this about your own self, that you're trying to run away from your emotions. You're trying to suppress your emotions. You're trying to be more confident. And what happens? These emotions, you need to understand one thing about emotions. You can suppress it for some time, but it's going to come to the surface. And when it comes to the surface, it's going to make you irritable. It's going to make you emotionally impulsive. And that is a problem a lot of men face. They try to suppress their emotions because they're always worried about the next thing. Maybe it's the worry about the past. Maybe it's the worry about the future. They're never present to the moment. Now, whenever you're doing an approach, if all these thoughts come to your head, like what the girl is thinking, am I doing the right things? Am I impressing her enough? What is the next best thing to say? All of these things are going to kill your approach. And not only an approach, whenever you're talking to a girl, whether you're in a relationship and if you're thinking about all those things, that is the girl attracted to me? I hope she stays attracted to me. I hope I'm able to build that attraction, maintain it. All of this is going to kill the likeliness of forming a deeper relationship. Why? Because you're not present to the moment. And what do most men do? They try to suppress their emotion. They try to have intoxicants. They try to smoke some weed. And all of that is suppressing your emotions. But you need to understand whatever is suppressed gets obsessed. Now, I also see this with a lot of people. Maybe they're taking some medication. Maybe they're taking alcohol. Maybe they're smoking up. Whatever they're doing is trying to suppress that emotion. Now, I want you to understand one thing. Instead of trying to suppress it, try to embrace whatever emotion you are feeling. So whenever you're going for that approach, try to embrace whatever emotion you're feeling. So if you're feeling anxious, try to tell the girl that, hey, listen, I'm sort of anxious. Now, that doesn't make you any less of a man, but what it does is it makes you more authentic, and that's what you actually want to form deeper relationships. So the next time, whenever you're feeling a negative emotion, try to calm down, try to think about why you're feeling that emotion. I want to give you an example. Now, I was coaching this one client, and this guy had a problem with his girlfriend having male friends. Why is that? Because he got cheated upon twice in his life. So he would not allow his girl to have male friends. Now, the girl's intention was completely pure. She was not thinking about hooking up, or she was not thinking about meeting guys with a romantic interest. But this guy would get emotionally triggered whenever she talk about a male friend. And because of that, relationship sort of got sour and they had to break up because the guy was not able to keep up. So you need to understand, whenever you're feeling that surge of emotions that you actually want to do something, instead of doing that, calm down at that point of time, write down the emotion that you're feeling and write down the reason behind you feeling that emotion. Now, just doing that small activity is going to help you understand a lot of your emotional triggers. And not only that, if you click on the pinned comment below and sign up for the live event, I'm also going to share with you a workbook that is going to help you manage your emotional triggers better. Step 2 is practice responding instead of reacting. Now, reacting is sort of an unconscious thing that you do to relieve your emotions. Alright, it's when a high stress environment is created, you're reacting to it. So I want you to take a step back. I want you to watch yourself from a third person's perspective. And instead of reacting then and there, try responding, try understanding what you're feeling, what you're going through, and why you're feeling that way, and what is the best response to that situation. Now, you need to understand this small thing that I learned in a book. It was called Repeatlessness by Dr. Joe Marcella. There's a small formula which goes like E plus R is equal to O, which basically means event plus response to that event is equal to an outcome. Now, for example, if you go and approach a girl, you get rejected and you react to it. You're like, oh fuck, I'm not good enough. Maybe that's why I'm rejected, and you take it too personally. That is the wrong approach. But if you go out and you get rejected and you come back and you're like, okay, I got rejected. Let me just see, why did I get rejected? Did I invade the girl's personal space? Did I do something wrong in my approach? And what you're doing is you're looking inward instead of just judging the whole situation. And that is going to help you in terms of your next few approaches, because once you look inward and you find out the faults that you were doing in your own approaches instead of judging yourself, what is going to happen is next time you get rejected, you're going to respond to it in a much better manner instead of taking it extremely personally. Now, this also happened with one of my clients, that he would get extremely cocky whenever a girl would challenge him. Whenever a girl would, show him that she's not interested, he would get extremely cocky, defensive. And what happened because of that, he would never be able to get the girl. He would always be cocky and defensive, and he would just abuse the girl or say something bad, say something obnoxious. And because of that, he's never able to get the girl. But once he started doing his field reports, once he started coming back, journaling his approaches, he understood what he was doing wrong instead of just reacting to the particular situation. And that is what most men are actually doing. So next time you're driving a car and you stop on a red light, I want you to just focus on one thing, observe one thing. Instead of honking the horn when a person is not, going forward, maybe it's a green light, just wait there and just think. Instead of reacting to it, just wait there and just let the person pass. Now, out of the 5 points, I've already covered one. Now, let's go to the second one, which is being a well-cultured individual. Now, what is a well-cultured individual? A cultured man is a guy who's refined, a guy who's civilized, a guy who's socially calibrated, who's socially intelligent, a guy of taste, a guy who has idea about different things that are happening in the world and who's not very confined on particular topics. Becoming cultured is more about adapting and learning. It's more about having life experiences. Now, to be a well-cultured individual, what you need to do is first pick up books. But not only self-help books. Now, I know a lot of you guys watching might just be reading the next dating book. Oh, it's going to help me with my dating life. Oh, this is going to help me becoming a self-help junkie. But what you need to understand, it's not only about self-help. Do not confine yourself to a particular set of books. Instead, read some fiction books, read some non-fiction books, read some different kind of books which is going to expand and broaden your perspective towards life, which is going to give you so many different perspectives. You're going to expand your growth as a man. Now, second thing which you can do, which I did a little later in my journey, was diving into art, appreciating life, appreciating art, appreciating paintings, taking the time to appreciate the good things in life. Now, it's also a very good way of opening goals, and the Indian Habitat Center in Delhi, you can go there at any time. You don't have to have the stress of the conversation. You'll see a lot of art exhibitions happening over there, and you can just talk to any beautiful woman who would be more than willing to assist you in understanding more about art. So it's also a very good way of connecting with high-value women. Another thing I would recommend is diving into different cuisines. Now, when I was in Singapore, I remember all the Indians would just stick to Indian food. All the Indians would be like, oh, I just want to have Indian food. Instead, when you're going to a new country or maybe even a new city, just try to explore their local cuisine. Try to explore their local food. Even if you don't like it, try to explore different things. Because if you explore different things, then you'll be able to talk about different things with different people. And that will make you more knowledgeable in terms of your own experience of life. Now, another thing I would highly recommend is listening to different music. Understand, music is beyond just hip-hop and Arijit Singh. You can listen to some classical piano, some rock music, some different kinds of music, because when you're talking to an individual, you can always talk about music. You can always relate on music because everyone loves listening to music. Another way you can present yourself as a very well-cultured individual is by learning different languages. Now, in my dating journey, definitely this has helped me a lot because I learned different things, and you don't have to learn the whole language. I'm not telling you to pick up a book and completely learn a different language. All you need to do is learn few words, few phrases of different languages. Now, in my dating journey, this has actually helped me a lot because I've dated women from different cultures. So this has helped me connecting with those women. Even if I don't speak the whole languages, I'll speak like 5 phrases and I can see the woman automatically getting more attracted towards me because they're thinking, oh, this guy is at least trying. They would laugh on my jokes, and it also helps me build faster relatability. Now, if you come to Delhi, you call Veerji to any Punjabi guy, he'll be more than happy to help you. And if you go to Calcutta and you call Dada to any guy, he'll be more than willing to help you as well. And now this is what happens when you start understanding different dialects, and you don't need to know the whole language, just a few words and phrases, and you'll see women automatically getting more attracted. Now, in the live event, I'm going to give you a lot of resources so that you can dive deep into whatever you want to learn and whatever you actually resonate with. So click on the pinned comment and sign up for the live event. Now, let's talk about stable lifestyle choices. Now, women are attracted to your personality and your lifestyle choices. It's very important to have stable lifestyle choices. The first thing that I see is a lot of working professionals, a lot of entrepreneurs do not care about their personal grooming. And I saw this with my friend actually. And this is a guy who's a multi-millionaire. And I asked him, hey man, what is your nighttime or your daytime routine? He's like, I just get up and I sit in my boxes and I probably start working from home these days because now it's a pandemic and everyone is working from home. And that is one reason, people stopped caring about how they look. And if you're someone who wants to be appreciated by women, it's very important that you pay close attention in your personal grooming. Now, your personal grooming includes your hairstyle, your personal grooming includes your facial hair, your personal grooming includes your eyebrows as well. Because for us Indians, it's very important as some of us grow a monobrow. So it's very important to get your eyebrows done as well. Now, all of this plus your morning and your nighttime skin routine. Now, I'm not telling you to apply 50 products, but I'm telling you to take good care of your skin because over the years, if you don't take good care of your skin, what is going to happen is once you turn 30, it's going to show on your skin, it's going to show on your face. Now, how you take good care of your skin? Now, my personal routine is applying some moisturizer, applying a vitamin C serum, and also applying some sunscreen, and that is all I do. You don't need to do a lot more than it. And if you want, you can also add a nighttime routine, which is washing your face, applying a night cream before going to sleep so that your skin remains hydrated. Apart from your skincare and your grooming, what also matters is your nutrition, your diet. Because a lot of us have like a high carb diet because, this is India at the end of the day. We are eating a lot of rotis, a lot of rice, a lot of dosas. And because of that, it's like a very high carb diet. And a high carb diet actually makes you lazy, it makes you lethargic, it makes your energy level drop down. Now, when I started doing boot camps, I realized the importance of diet because the Indian diet that I was following before that would not allow me to go and do boot camps for 3 days where we are going out and approaching girls, because I used to get super tired. Then I changed my diet and I could see a huge spike in my energy levels. And with the spike in your energy levels, of course, you're going to be a little bit more charismatic as well. And that also brings me to the next thing, which is having an active lifestyle. Now, funny enough, I was talking to one of my clients and I was telling him, hey man, how many times do you go to the gym? He's like, I just go to the gym thrice in a week. And I'm like, why? He's a software engineer. He's living in Bangalore. He's working probably 5 days and his work is not even that hectic. He's working 7 to 8 hours. He's like, my work is so hectic. It's not about the work, but it's about the mindset. And the reason why I'm telling you to go to the gym is not because you want to get buffed up or you want to get ripped. It's also to bring a strong mindset that you're going against resistance and you're a guy who has a go-getter's attitude. Now, another thing which not a lot of people talk about is mental health. Now, men are especially suffering with mental health because they have no one to talk to. They have no one to go to when they have their issues. They have no one to consult. They have no one to share their problems with, whether it's a dating problem, whether it's a problem in their work, whether it's a problem in their job. They have no one to actually have a heart-to-heart conversation with, because most men think that it's going to make them weak. And because of that, men are actually suffering. They're trying to hide their emotions. They're falling into alcoholism. They're doing a lot of intoxicants. And all of that affects your mental health because, as I already mentioned, if you suppress your emotions, they will soon come to the surface and they're going to make you emotionally erratic. They're going to make you emotionally impulsive. And all of that is sort of a red flag for a woman who's looking for something more long-term. Another thing that comes down when I talk about stable lifestyle choices is your career and your education. Now, a lot of men, after doing the college, they're not really learning anything, especially working professionals, especially guys who are just working behind a laptop all day. They just give up on their learning. And what happens is, if you're not moving forward in life, you're moving backward. You might think that you're stagnant, but you're actually never stagnant. So keep on constantly learning about new things. Keep on constantly investing in yourself, because that is something that is going to stick with you for the rest of your life. Also want you to take mindful decisions when it comes to stable lifestyle choices, whether it's, taking a hobby. Never go for instant gratification, which is instant dopamine hits. Instead, weigh down the pros and cons and the potential outcomes of the hobbies that you've selected, of the things that you've selected in life, whether it's something that you're learning, whether it's a skill that you're learning, because that's really crucial. You want things to add value in your life rather than subtracting value in your life. And hobbies can be productive and hobbies can be unproductive as well. An unproductive hobby might be just gaming, meeting your friends on a Saturday night and getting shit-faced sloshed. And I know this because I've done both. There has been times where I was just gaming, and I remember when I was a kid, I used to always be isolated. I always used to love gaming. I would spend 17 hours with my PS3 at that point of time playing Call of Duty. And if you're doing that, understand that it's not a hobby, it's just you letting yourself loose. So instead of picking unproductive hobbies, try to pick up a productive hobby. Start learning an instrument. Start doing something that is actually going to add value in your life in the long term. Start learning a new language. Start going out for a dance class, which is actually going to make you more social as a person. And if you're a guy who's working from home, start taking small baby steps, whether it's even going for a coffee shop to have a coffee. Now, there's several tools that can help you make better lifestyle decisions. And we've created a vision board that we give to all our clients. And the same vision board is something that in our company, everyone uses. We tell them to fill it. We tell them to read it every day. This keeps you motivated. This keeps you on the track, and this keeps you real towards your own true values. And the same vision board is going to be shared in the live event. So I hope you've signed up for the live event. Now, coming down to financial stability. Now, financial stability is something which is a big controversy. Now, in terms of attraction, you need to understand, if a woman is looking for something long-term, of course, she's going to look for a guy who's financially stable. And if you're not there yet, you don't have to worry. What women are actually looking for is the drive in a man to become financially stable rather than actual financial stability. Of course, there might be some women who are just looking for that, but these are the kind of women that you want to stay away with, because attraction based on finances, attraction based on monetary things is attraction that is short-lived. Once she gets all of those things and she knows that it's not fulfilling her, she's not going to treat you like king. Now, you need to understand, taking care of your personal finances is not to land a beautiful woman, but it's for you. It's for your own mental satisfaction. So you can actually enjoy the time that you're spending with the woman instead of just thinking about work all the time, that what you need to do for work, or how you can land a job. Because if you're still stuck in that preliminary phase, then what you need to understand is, when you're meeting a woman, you'll never be present to the moment. You'll always be thinking about finances. You'll always be thinking about how will you pay the bill. And guys, I've been there. When I was a student in Singapore, I remember going out on my first date and the bill was coming up to $100 and $150, and I was literally scared. I was not enjoying the date. I was just thinking about, oh, I hope I can ask for a split. I think I should not eat this. Maybe she'll pay for this. With all of that, of course, I'm not able to enjoy my time with the woman I'm spending my time with. So if you're in that position, I want you to make a financial plan. In today's date, it's very easy to have a good financial plan. All you need to do is do the right budgeting. You have tools like ChatGPT. There might be some financial AI tools as well. And apart from that, there are so many creators who are imparting good financial knowledge, like Finance with Sharon. And there's so many books that you can read as well, like Money by Tony Robbins. I would recommend starting over there if you have no idea about finances. In fact, I want to share a story of a 49-year-old guy who was staying with his parents. Now, this guy was taking care of his parents who were critically ill. Now, both of his parents died, and this guy got extremely suicidal because he didn't have anyone to be with. He was leading a very lonely life. And after that, he joined us. He started working with me, and we started working on his mindset. We started helping him out, and everything in his life sort of shifted. Once he got that confidence after talking to a woman, he started focusing on his work more, and his work really picked up. And because of that, he started talking to around 15 girls at that point of time. And that is actually a huge number if you're 49 years old. And after talking to 15 women, he met that one person that he actually wanted to spend his life with, and now he's happily married. So from a guy who was extremely depressed to a guy who's in a happy married relationship, that was the shift that he brought into his life, and that is the shift that you can bring to your life as well. Now, I want you to build the right habits when it comes to your dating life. And what are the right habits? The right habits is being social, talking to people. Now, most men, especially who are working from home or guys who are working behind a laptop all day, what happens is you become extremely antisocial. You stop going out, you stop interacting with your friends, or maybe you're just interacting with a confined group of friends. And what that does is that makes you very antisocial. It makes you shy and introverted. And what you need to do is you need to go out, you need to have a conversation. Now, I'm not telling you to attract women. I'm telling you to just go out, grab a coffee, talk to people, go to a cafe shop, go for a walk. It is as simple as that. You need to take small steps toward being a social version of yourself. So start treating yourself with respect, have a good morning routine, have a good night routine, join the gym. And all of this, when the woman sees that this guy is on his path, this guy is on his purpose, she's going to treat you with respect as well. And realize if you're a guy who's looking for something long-term, if you're looking for a deeper relationship, stability is very important. So let go of your bad habits. If you're into intoxicants, if you're using a lot of alcohol, let go of that and go towards more of a stable life, because that is what women are actually looking for when they're looking for a long-term relationship. Guys, now understand, I'm talking about a long-term relationship, not a short-term fun relationship, because in the short-term relationship, women might overlook all of this, but that's going to be very short-lived. And if you want to build something deeper, and if you want higher quality women, it's very important to work on all of these things, because that is what a high quality woman is looking for. So now you understand that you can't behave like a peasant if you want to be treated like a king. You need to treat your own self with respect, but also a king is a king no matter what. Even if you're broke right now, you have no money, it doesn't matter. It's all about the mindset, because you're just one battle away from getting the entire kingdom. Lastly, I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this process, because I've created workbooks, guides that are going to help you get there seamlessly. All you need to do is click on the pinned comment below, sign up for the live event, because we're going to give you all those resources that is going to completely bring all of these things together, and that is going to help you follow all of this in a seamless process.